Welcome to this session on creating walls from spaces. So now that our spaces have been arranged on the floor plate, we're going to start creating the 3D model by creating some walls from the spaces. So in this case, I'm going to use the wall tool. I'm going to set my wall to, there's an example partition 1 hour. So this is the typical wall that we'll use between all the loft unit spaces. And so that's the majority of our walls. It will also create the exterior walls, and we'll have to substitute those later, but this will get them created pretty quickly. Now our default width will be 7¼ inches. That's fine. I'm going to set the height to 12 feet or 4 meters. Now on the placement ribbon, we're going to use this place by from space. We'll set to the center line. And then I'm simply going to select all my spaces. So I'm going to use my control key so that we select them all at once. And you can just select that tag in the middle. Once they're all selected, I'm just going to left click or data point in the view. And there you can see it's created all of the walls around those spaces. It's also modified the space in the sense that it has reflooded it so that it is associated with those walls. So for instance, we can see this is 332 square feet now. If I were to move that wall, the space adjusts to the new wall and adjusts the area. You might also notice, though, that it has created walls on all sides of the spaces, and in some cases we did not need that. For instance, we already had a core wall here. So we're going to do a little bit of cleanup. I'm going to delete walls that I don't need. Let's get this panel out of the way. So, for instance, these walls along the core. And we'll come back a little bit later and reassociate the space so that it would then be associated with the core walls. So let's just clean this up. Now we also want to join any walls. You notice it creates individual walls here where we would like that to be one continuous wall. And for that, we'll just use our join wall or join elements tool. And I can come and just select these exterior walls. So that we get one continuous wall. We want to do the same along the corridor. It looks like we might have gotten a duplicate wall here, so we're just going to delete that. And then we also want to clean up our walls. So for instance, we would like these walls, these partition walls, to tee into that exterior wall. So we'll use our connect wall tool, and we're going to use the T connection, and we'll go around and clean up our connections. Make sure everything is cleaned up. In here, we need to make sure everything meets up. We don't want any gaps, or our spaces will not update. Okay, so I have that all cleaned up. Now, as I said, we're going to then change these exterior walls. So first, I'm going to move them about a foot out from the building so that we have some room for our structure for columns and beams, and that the wall will be outside of that. So just use the move tool and select each wall and move it out by 1 foot or 300 millimeters. Notice that the space is updating as I do that. And then I'm going to select all 4 of those walls. So again, just using our control key, we'll select them and then use the modify properties tool. And we're going to change this wall to a compound wall, and we'll use this example metal panel plus gym. So I'm going to select that. Probably want to change the height to the 12.6. Everything else should really be using all new values in this case. And we're going to select OK. And then left click or data point to accept. And it's replaced that wall. You may have to flip it if it put the panels, the metal panels on the inside. And you do that by simply selecting the wall, and there's flip handle, flip in place. And you just click that once, click it twice. And you can see it flips that wall around. Flip this around so we can get the back side. So I now have my exterior walls placed. I'm going to switch the plan over to a wireframe just for a moment so that you can see, if you'll notice, a lot of these spaces are now showing up dashed. What that indicates is that they've lost their associativity because of the fact that we've deleted some walls, we've changed wall types. They're no longer associated with the wall that they were originally associated with when those walls were first created. But that's easy to fix. What we're going to do is under the space tool, if we pull that down, there's an update space tool. And basically, when I select the space, it's going to reflood, find the new walls, and regain the associativity. So I just select the space, and we can see it's been reassociated. It's no longer dashed. And we'll just go around and do each one of those. And so we have new areas based on the wall placement. And again, if I were to move a wall, the space updates, the area updates. So we've rather quickly gotten our 3D model going based on the space layout that we did earlier. In the next session, we'll come in and add some additional spaces for these lounge areas and the corridor and so forth. And we're going to do that by flooding the 3D model.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If you want to see more such series, consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you, and see you next time.